Hey, what's happening, everybody? And we are live. I hope y'all had a great Tuesday. Yeah, there we go. I hope you all had a great Tuesday out there. Wasn't too bad here. Weather's You guys getting any snow up there yet in Michigan? We aren't getting it here yet, luckily. In time. Trying to get my screen set here. I miss having a third screen. That way I can watch the mic this week if I click out. Yeah, we've had a little bit in the higher elevations, but nothing that's stayed. Oh, where do we want to start this week? Probably. Oh, I didn't grab those hoods. We'll start with the Ultra Brute 18. I think I finally got this body all worked out to just how I want it. A couple hood options for it. Still getting used to printing with ABS. Trying to find one that I really like. So that way it gives me the good, consistent prints I'm looking for, and then I can take the time and dial it in because I'm getting little boogers in it you'll see here and there. That, and I got a little bit of extrusion that needs some work. But yeah, the updated Ultra 18. Stretch the front a little bit. We shorten the grill up on it. Oh, nope, they're hood louvers. Hey, what's happening, Reckless? Hey, CDCRC. Nope, hood louvers. So that way we can have lots of cool hood options. I just finished doing this up last night. We're going to try a interior retention on this one with those little tabs down in there. And then we'll have these little tabs that will bolt to our hood. So we'll throw one together real quick, and then we will drop it on and see what it looks like. I just updated the hoods last night, so you guys are seeing it as I'm seeing it. So hopefully it's awesome. Yeah, I told myself I was going to have everything where I needed it tonight. And where's my hardware? Hidden in one of my drawers. Which we're about due for a refill on. Anyone got any favorite places to buy hardware? I was getting mine out of this place in Arizona. You got to buy by the 1,000 or by the pound. That wasn't too bad. But I go through a lot of hardware. Thanks, Andy. The louvers will look better once I get this material dialed in. That's assembling nice, though. Been trying to make some slight hole size adjustments so we still get really good thread engagement, and it won't take as much work to pre-thread into a hole. Oh, I feel like those are going to work pretty good. We might even be able to get away with just one screw holding that. That's pretty sweet. Oh, that fits. That fits nice. And then it's easy to take it all the way off. Keeps it in good. But the part I'm really excited to try, I've been messing with to challenge myself, is this little wee bugger right here. We're going to see if we can do a hood latch on it. And design the hood so that those glue in, so that way they can be replaced, because I know this is they're going to break. There's no doubt about it. So we want to definitely make it so it can be replaced then. We'll give her one more dab and we'll let her sit for a minute. And we'll monkey with something else. See what we can glue our fingers to. So if I got my design pretty close to where this should fit each truck with dab. Each truck with minimal work. So I know we saw the old one on the Ascent. Well, first, I guess, let's look at what's updated on it. So here's the V1. Of course, we've got the opening hoods now, which is a must-have. I shortened the grill up on it quite a bit, thinned it up, made it a little smaller. A little bit better profile on it now, especially from the side. It's got a nice curve to it. We've still got the doors, obviously. If I put the grooves in, would you guys want that so we could have you guys could do your own window glass for this? I know on one of the original Brute bodies, I know Jim has it. I actually designed in a channel so you could cut your own window glass, and it actually had a spot to pop in and sit. With this being as flat on the front and the back sides as it is, we could definitely do that, and we could see if we could do it as just like a printed pattern for you guys to use and cut out. Something to add to it. I mean, if we're gonna do hard bodies again, we gotta up our game. I mean, some of those guys, their designs are just out of this world out there, you know. One thing I added to this cab that's going to help with our doors is I put in door stops. And I am anxious to see how they work. So yeah, so now we've got stops right here. And if I design the spacing on this side right, it should close with a little bit of a click. We'll see. Once these are available, one of the key points is going to be right in here. They always print like that a little bit. We got to clear that out, and it's going to always need sanded in there. Sand and fit, sand and fit. That way it's a nice tight fit for a long time. Just a touch more. Yeah, since they're ball and socket joint, they just snap in. Oh, you could hear them snap in. That's so cool. That's fantastic. You can see it's got that little bit of movement to it, keeping it nice and snug in place. Yeah, camera's going a little crazy with the zoom tonight. So just the angle up a little bit maybe. See if that helps. So I guess since the Ascent's the closest, we'll set it on top of that one first. Now with the Ascent, it will need a little bit of clearance right here. So I could push that back some, but that sits really nice on there. I could probably open these wheel wells up 5 or 10 millimeters too. But if you clearance the back a little bit, it'll be perfect the way it sits on there. Oh, I know the glue's not dry enough yet for me to mess with the hood, but I want to so bad. One thing I did do to the hoods is I clearanced them on the inside here, hoping that this is enough that it'll clear the tips of the shock towers. Because when this one's on here, it hits right on those towers. So we'll see. All right. Glue's dry enough for me. With the clip just a bit off of that. First time in use, so it's going to need a little pre-bent. Oh, well, version 1 is a fail. Maybe not. Maybe we just need that stub. Because it does snap down in there. Pretty good. Oh, it just clears. Yep, that just clears. I can feel it sitting right on them. She sits nice on the sliders, though. I've got my 4M sitting here, so we'll try that one next, CD. See how it fits. We got to slap the other door in. I love these tube doors. They're my favorite. I'd really love to get a huge printer at some point and do a 10 scale version of the Ultra Brute, which I do have some 10 scale awesomeness to share with you guys tonight. I really like this time of year at work because we get slow. So I can get the programmer and the CNC guys to run some of my stuff through on occasion. So I've got one of my ultra low forward motor mounts I designed for the Element Stealth X transmission that we will check out later. Tiny bit of sanding so they fit. I've got a stock 4M here, but yeah, I can see yours from where I'm sitting. We could try that and see what it looked like. I'm thinking for fitment for this body, for each chassis, I will do customized sliders, something similar to our mag mounts that we do for the 24 scale. We'll try to make it as universal as we can to fit tons of trucks. All right, Ascent. It's time for you to sit on the back burner. You've been sucking up all the spotlight. All right, so let's see how it fits on the Traxxas. I eyeballed it up a little bit earlier, and then just eyeballing it up, I know that the rear and the front bumper are going to have to go. You know what, CD? I need to look and see if the regular TRX 4M chassis is that much different from a high trail, because mine was originally a high trail, and I've got everything sitting as low as I possibly can on it. But let me move that wire a little bit. That could work pretty good on there, I think. Especially we take. Oh yeah, that is just about right. You'd have to chop a little frame in the rear, ditch that crap bumper mount up front, but it'll definitely fit on. There we go. Sound's back. I'll put StreamYard over here tonight since it seems to be keeping up with the comments. last week I didn't see like 2/3 of you guys' comments. This threads in so nice. So far, I've been preferring Overture's ABS. This is printed in some eSun ABS, and it's all right, but it's not super great. Could be it was just old too. Line it up. Screw that right in. Pinch my finger in between the two parts. Yeah, that little hood clasp works pretty good. Oh, I see I got the same holes in this one. I didn't adjust my thickness down in my model. I'll have to do that. Speaking of model, who is excited to get to do some 3D modeling? Everyone seems to be pretty interested in that series, so we will definitely touch on that. We'll have to figure out a good day to do it for everyone. A good day and a time. Thinking it might be a good, like, every other Sunday thing. I know for the Evo, it's just a hair wide for the stock sliders. But by far, it's been my favorite look. It just looks at home on that chassis and with those tires. Sundays, we could do Sundays. We could do probably maybe like a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday evening. Once a month, I've got my comp series on a Sunday for 10th scales, and that takes up most of the day. Yeah, that looks super fantastic on there. Louvered hood's definitely the way to go. I'll have to do some work so it prints out better. Oh yeah, check this out. I forgot to tell you guys this. I can see it needs a little bit of work, but this is a first print on this updated bed. I put a gas cap in. You can see we got a little gap in there. You can see a little bit of air through there. We'll make some adjustments to that, but that's pretty sweet. Yeah, those door stops. That's the ticket. I really wanted to put it on my katana, but I forgot I've got some stuff under there I'm not ready for everyone to see yet. So next time we'll test fit this onto the katana. And some other little updates and projects we got going on here is I'm a big fan of the Furtec and Hobby Plus and Eva trucks. So we've got a nice rear link riser for these finally. Fits great on the Pro and clears everything. Just barely clears that tray, but it clears. We'll be popping those on the website. One thing I'm really liking about this ABS is it's freaking strong. Oh, takes a real lot to snap it, and that makes me happy, but I'm always breaking my parts because I want to know the kind of abuse they're going to take. If it breaks easy, that's garbage, you know? And no one wants garbage. Slide some of these little parts out of the way here. Yeah, I got something non-mini related I'd love to show you guys. I got my start in RC in 10th scale. Like 10th scale is probably my favorite, just because I like to get out and I like to hike a lot. And when I say hike, I like to go like a good 8 to 10 miles. And I love my mini trucks, but I'm not following this for 10 miles. That ain't gonna happen, you know. But I've also been feeling a lot more competitive than usual, and I'm running the C2 class down at RC-ology. Last week I took my trail truck, or last month I took my trail truck, and it did awful. I love that truck. It's a gorgeous truck. It does amazing lines out on the trail, but a competition truck, it most definitely is not. So I started work on this project. I've had this MST body for quite a while. I really dig the paint, way the paint came out on it. Depends on condition of your truck and trail driving too, but I always take probably 4 batteries with me. This is my new comp truck I'm just finishing up. It's all been built out of parts I've had laying around the house here for quite some time. I don't know if I can get a good angle on this paint. But if you notice, it kind of changes shades all throughout the entire body. We're just finishing the pinch up on it. We're going to do magnets because I love magnets. They're my favorite way to mount a body. If you notice, if you look in there, we've got an interior. Recycled interior from SCX 10.3 Rubicon. That's what the rear cage came from too, was that same Rubicon. We custom pinched the rear. Got our interior all mounted up in there. But then underneath our spare here, we have an entire drop bed. Complete with full wheel wells. And on the finished product, this part will still be attached to the body. Set up on a Toizuki chassis with some of my license plates I did. How many miles to the battery? Let's see, my TRX 4 was really efficient. I could usually get 4.5 miles per battery out of that truck. Yeah, they bolt right to the chassis. Chassis is a Toizuki V2. I got from my good buddy Tony. Tony's Lanyards. If you ever need a lanyard, look up Tony. And yeah, sliders I made myself. They fit the angle of the skid. All done out of, it's like 20 gauge stainless. I was going to TIG weld some bars on there, but I told myself, you got to remember, it's a comp truck, not a trail truck. It needs to stay lightweight. Yep, sliders just capture that body real nice. I got to check and see where I'm at for points wise, because driver's class is 42 points. So here is the cool stuff that we got to make it work this week. You'll see my printed motor mount here that puts that stupid low. Here is the aluminum version. All I've got left to do is tap the holes and it can go on. I've been waiting for this for a while. Oh, Rockwolf, in 10 scale crawling, you get points for scale items like mirrors, rear view mirror, spare tires. It's kind of like how you get a handicap in golf. Scale points can help you, but also all that weight you add on and load up can hurt you too, because you've got a heavier truck you're trying to pull through gates. It's my favorite tap handle. It's a Stanley ratcheting tap handle. I think they make one size down. You're tapping. That's how it works in comp. Like, if you want, I can explain more how the 10 scale setup works to you sometime. Here, we'll talk about some of it while I tap these holes, because I got a perfect example sitting here. So how we do part of this points and 10 scale is, like you see, I've got a metal bumper. That'd be 2 points, -2. Now, if this was plastic, we'd be looking at a -1. The metal bumper is worth more because it's more weight. More weight gives you a crawling advantage, but it also gives you a disadvantage because that's more weight your truck's dragging around. And metal sticks to rocks and obstacles a lot more than plastic does. So that gives me some points there. Now if you have working headlights and taillights, that's more scale points. The big thing about scale points is it gives you scale realism to a point, but then it's also functional items too. Like, I'm going to mount a reefs Micro 99 servo winch in here. Having that winch, that gives me another -3 points. But the winch also is going to help when I hit a gate and I can't make it through. So like the winch, that's like functional scale points. Because it functions and actually does something. It's important to have caps on your points though. And we do it so you get 1 point per one item. So you can't have a 6-pack of cans and say that's your 6 scale points and that 0.3 of a gram of styrene sitting there or 3D print. Oh, this tap's so nice. I love this tap handle. I don't know if you guys know much about taps and what to look for in a good tap. I agree. I hate the stick pull method too. On my trail truck, I've got a real nice land anchor I came up with. Yeah, because I grew up one-to-one wheeling, and it was poor one-to-one wheeling, so we didn't have a winch. We had to come along, and yeah, there was no stick or perfect spot to hook that come along to. It was we've got to do a 35-foot strap over to this tree, and then we'll be able to hook it. That takes away from it too with the stick pull. The one thing I do like is like for guys that come in the first time, the way I do it here when I run comps is we have a set length string that we call the hand winch. You get +6 points added to your score, but the hand winch line is 14 inches long. So we lay it out and you get 14 inches from the front of your bumper to where that line would go. So it's 14 inches that you can move ahead. And that's front bumper to front bumper. You can't put it down and get 14 inches and then put your back bumper at the end of the leash. Yeah, beach wheeling, I bet that's got to be different. We're northwestern Pennsylvania, so it's mud, clay, glacial rocks, a lot of sandstone, limestone. Sweet, there we go. We have 5 tapped holes. I've got a whole comp course I built in my yard and completely surrounding my house. It's awesome. Once spring comes, we'll do a Tinker Tuesday tour of the grounds. Look at that. My hardware's right in front of me. Like I put it there knowing I was going to need it. Imagine that. Now, if I just would have put my driver there too, we'd have been really set. Yeah, I'm excited about this mount. I have one on my Comanche, on my other Element, and I absolutely love it. get them all just slightly started here because tolerances on it are tight. I told the guys they could add more room and opens up some of the stuff, but they're like, no, it's fine. But we also are mold makers, so we're used to working 4th place decimal, which is super fine. Super fine, super tiny. Oh, that fits together so nice. I had one other, oh, we got crud in that thread, I can feel it. That one was perfect. I've got one buddy who's testing this, and he had it on a axial 3 gear too. Yeah, that is fantastic. I cannot wait to get that in. Yeah, it goes right there. That puts everything so nice and low. As you can see on the prototype, it's down there. Oh, I know. I can't wait to have you guys up this summer, CD. It's going to be wicked awesome. Yeah, you only saw them half cleaned up. But yeah, that's what we've been messing around with and working on. So now we can talk a little bit about the CAD and the design program videos we can do. For this, we'll need to download Fusion 360. There is a free hobbyist version they have, and that's the version you guys will have to download. I can bring up the web page real quick and give you guys a look at it. FUSI. I like Fusion. It's a good program, especially the free hobbyist version. Works great. All right, so let's adjust our camera angle here a little bit. And I might be a half a second behind because I'm waiting for YouTube to catch up so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, she gets the zoomies this time of night. So where you guys will need to go is right here. It says download the free trial. And this is the one you guys want right here, the center. It's a limited version. It's a free version with limited functionality. It gives you 90% of everything you need. I used this one for quite a while until I was making enough to fun paying for it every month and yearly. This is the one we'll use. And the first project we'll do is that broken styrofoam cooler. Oh, yeah. That little zoomy head never gets tired of playing. Our latest game has been put the toy inside of a box, and then we take that box and put that inside of another box. And then we put the box upside down and see how long it takes for it to get them out. Right now, we're at about 4 minutes for opening both cardboard boxes. But yeah, back to this here. You'll want the hobbyist version for personal use. Download that. Do we want to do a setup video on this? So we can all make sure we get it set up and on the right page? Because I'll teach you guys everything I can on Fusion, but I want to make sure we all start off on the same foot so that we stick together. And then I can also suggest some other links. All right, I'll do a video, Rock. No problem on that. We can do that. That's why I'm asking. You guys are important to me, man. It's your guys' support that's got me here. The least I can do is share some of these awesome skills with you, you know. They love to teach people. All right, I'll do a video on downloading it and getting it set up. You guys might hate me now, but we are going to be doing everything in metric. Oh, sweet. That's awesome. You still got that. Once you guys get the hang of metric, it's not that bad. It's all units of 10. Oh, man. I can't believe you still haven't got it set up. That's crazy. But, yeah, we will be doing everything in metric. It's easier to work with, and most all these trucks are designed in metric. It's super simple and easy to work in. There's a couple little things we'll need to get in preparation. Wobbly, wobbly, wobble. Oh, yeah, RC Remedy. Metric. Trust me, I used to think the same thing. If you hate doing math and doing conversions, then you're absolutely going to love fucking metric because it's so simple. Like, I love metric for small stuff. Yeah. Yep. One thing we will need is said digital calipers. And buy yourself a nice metal scale. I like to have a few different sizes. My most used ones, though, are my little ones. This one here is all in 32nds and 64ths on one side. And then the other side, all metric. Millimeters are so easy. Then I like a nice 12-inch scale too. This one's the same way. Metric on one side, standard on the other. That's some of the basic things that'll get us going. As far as calipers, I'm a picky little bitch. I can't help it, I am. Yeah, they are. I actually got my dad's RC. They are great. I actually got my start in CAD in design doing drafting in high school. I used to have a nice drafting board and T-square and all the triangles. I still use my French curve on stuff all the time. But as far as calipers go, I'm a huge Mitutoyo fan. This is my second set. This is what I always use on the job too. And they're fantastic. My last set lasted me 10 plus years of garage abuse, work abuse, desk abuse. So I know I'll get at least a good solid decade plus out of these. I love technical drawing too. And then when I was in college, my late 20s, we had to do a drafting section. And you know what? We only had to do front view, top view, and right side view. It was so simple. Like, I couldn't believe we didn't have to do the isometric view, so I just threw it on there for shits and giggles. Yeah, I always hated freaking drawing title blocks and doing the border. Oh, the isometric is what was really fun, was doing the isometric drawing. Sweet, you still got your compass set. I took regular art too, but that's one person I got to thank is my shop teacher, Mr. Shepler, who at 7th grade rotation introduced me to drafting. Because, I had no idea how to get the ideas in my head out onto paper or out onto the computer screen nowadays. If it wasn't for him, there would have never been a start to Tinker Time. Yeah, I still have all my drafting stuff, right here under all this paper because it gets used. Slide ruler. My angle, yep, right there it is. French curve. .45, 45, 90, and my 30, 60, 90 triangles. Yeah, I hate math too. I like to do simplified math. I hated when we got into trig and sine wave formation and shit. And but I'm still stuck doing lots of math every day. I think I've just gotten used to it. So by trade, I work as a tool maker / everything guy at our shop. I will show you guys the tolerances we work in. Oh, shit. Calipers technically are not accurate enough for the work we do. I can't even hit it. Okay. This is the tolerance we work in. Thou to half 1,000. Yeah, I get that, Dad. It's isn't that crazy? It's oh man, my brain works better. Yeah, I'm done with math when it turns into letters and numbers and then points, and it's like this wave goes. What made me finally understand that's when I started getting into a little bit of laser cutting and stuff. And calculating the sine waveform is what helps you calculate the travel of the laser because it's got an X and a Y travel. But in addition to that, the head of the laser itself travels too. It's wild. Yeah. What should we mess with now? Since we kind of fell way down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I still got that broken link dangling down there. That's funny, Dad's RC garage. I know, I'm hitting the bottom of my coffee cup right now. But yeah, if everything goes the way it's been going with this body, it should be available within the next week for multiple trucks. Hoping to get more clear bodies in sometime soon. And I think that's just about all we got this week. Oh, the last thing I could show you, it's got to do with 10 scale stuff, as you can see them over in the corner there behind the katana. Is 3D printed inserts. This is an unpeeled one. There's a lot of peeling that goes into these. I've tried to scale this design down to work with 24 scale, but I'm just going to have to rework the design to work that small. Holy crap, 208 cones. That is a ton. So, like, my inserts are a little crazy. As you can see, they've got center void. They've also got angle to each one because they're directional. And you can see the inners go the opposite way, and the inners have 2 holes in them. And they work super, super fantastic. The way I did my design is with this stiffer outer wall and the way this curvature is, when you come into contact, see how it collapses right in on my fingertip? It makes that tread grab. It's hard to say. Okay. Yep, I had it the right way. I can feel it's not grabbing as much. I kind of like this design because then when you back up, it kind of floats more. Works really great in soft stuff, but when you're climbing, it's great because it just makes that wrap right around and push right against it. It stiffens, makes the top soft and stiffens at the bottom. And then obviously we all know the great sidewall benefits to it. And I think this is actually what I'm going to run in the comp truck is street treads. They're axial kit tires. And kit tires from Axial were always great. Oh, drift. It'd be fun to get into drift. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. Maybe when I hit a point of doing Tinker Time stuff full time, we could jump into that. Yeah, some tires, like I haven't ran megaliths personally, but I know, like, take Voodoo for example. I know they've got a lot of engineering that goes into the way their internal riving is and stuff to help the tire carcass react completely different than any other tire. These were actually originally designed for my Stretch Voodoo X4s. Which those will live on Pretty Boy forever. I love that truck. I will have to try to get out, get some running video with the new motor mount in when we drop it in the Ecto here. And I think that's about all I got for you guys tonight. I'll work on getting that video set up so we can all be on the same page with downloading Fusion and getting it set up. And we'll put that out there. And yeah, I think we'll do Sunday evenings would be a pretty good time to do that. Especially for me this time of year. Both my boys are wrestling, so Sunday evenings we're usually home and tournaments are done. And Sunday chores are usually done for the night. Oh, nice. I love Voodoos. I've ran these ones for years. I think these might... I'd have to check one of my other trucks, but I know I've got one set I've had for since my one boy was 6 and he's 14 now. They are wore right the hell away. Oh, I'm so happy to have this though. Like, I have not been driving my Ecto because I broke that motor mount and I did not want to go back. Screw it. It takes no time at all to put it in. So maybe we'll start with it right now. Gotta make sure I take the correct bolts out though. It's the way I've got it set up. I also have a battery tray that resides on the skid too. So that way everything can be as low as we can get it to go. No, don't chew that. Thanks, Rockwolf. Yeah, I really like the way the Ecto was set up, but I didn't like the fact there was no body capture on it. So I did my own sliders, and I also did it so it captured the trailing arm too, because I didn't want to take the links off. Yep, independent front on this. It's the Element IFS V2. Oh, we're going to have to work close because we got lots of zip tie action going on. Or we're just going to have to snip some zip ties. We'll snip and then do some new wire management. Make that a whole lot easier on us right there. So we need 7mm. Well, it is just printed. We're gonna make disassembly a lot easier then. For a printed mount, though, I mean, I did get a while out of this, which surprised me. One more screw, and that is off. And I did notice in our Makino that there are 2 more of these running when I left today, which is awesome. Got a couple other trucks I want to swap over to run this. See, this is a V1 backer plate, though. I made some changes to that and to the way this was done to make it easier to clamp on the vise for machining. Awesome. That's on. One more screw here. This Reedy does have a little bit of life left in it. It was unfortunately poorly placed in my garage and now has a ton of metal shavings stuck to it. So that was my bad. If I wasn't being... Yeah, let's just not be lazy, because then we're going to just fight it. We'll just take 2 seconds and pull a couple of these screws off. Then we can open it up, mount our motor nice and easy. Then we don't have to fight with it. I'll run this till it's dead, and then I've got a Holmes Hobbies 27 turn ready to go in. This one, Rock Wolf, is a 14 turn 5 slot. It's just the stock motor. It came in the Ecto. One important thing to do, though, before we swing it closed, it's my favorite thing to forget when I do this, just put my slipper on. I like to get it all buttoned up and then remember that that has to go in there. That makes my day every time. Alright, so we'll have to adjust our pinion too. I had to turn it around with the other mount being 3D printed. The original test version was thicker in a lot of places to make sure it would withstand use. Adjust that around so we can slide it back a little bit more. Perfect. Now we can put our mount back together. And we're pretty much done. Yeah, it is kind of fast. That's where the 5-slot stator comes in. With the 5-slot stator, it makes the 14-turn act like a more torque-dense 27-turn motor. Like if you want to get really into some motor knowledge, John Holmes from Holmes Hobbies, he is extremely knowledgeable. He really gives some good in-depth explanations on some of that stuff that I would only get you lost on. Oh, that mesh feels real nice. Hey, we see those like, which celebrity would you want to meet and crap like that. I don't want to meet any celebrity, but like John Holmes from Holmes Hobbies, he would be a dude to meet. Like, he's freaking brilliant. I'd rather meet someone with some intelligence over any kind of movie star or celebrity anyways. I mean, granted, there are some that are pretty smart, but line that up, drop that on, and bam. We put a few screws in and we're in business. The only person I think I would consider an idol would be like Nikola Tesla. He was inventing wicked awesome shit before we had all the technology to make it as simple as it is now. I know you're right there. There you go. Yeah, go in there, screw. You fall out. That helps me. Put this next one in. I'd really like to meet Rob Dyrdek. I used to love his show, Fear Factory. He's a pretty cool dude. What's your question, Rockwolf? Yeah, I've seen some upset people at meet and greet stuff too. Oh, I got to meet Hemi Storm. They beat the creek this year. That was fucking badass. And it was really cool last week down at RC Addicts at the comp because they had the grand opening for their hobby shop. So if you're in the Franklin, Pennsylvania area, stop in and see Ryan and his wife Shelly and check out the new hobby shop. But I got to meet him for the second time, Chris Robinson of GCM Canada. If you ever never watched GCM, those Canadian guys are freaking insane. They're innovative as fuck. And they have been for a long, long time. Sometimes if the screw doesn't go in, you just got to turn it 180 degrees. Boom. There we go. That's done. Motor in. Super, super low. I mean, you can't get much lower than that. This has got me thinking about my comp build because I looked at how Toizuki did their motor mount, and yeah, GCM is Rock Wolf. I can send you a link. They're really awesome. They build super highly detailed 10 scale stuff. They've got a couple of their own chassis. Beat the Creek this year. I believe it was Chris's dad was driving a camper that he had designed to do wheelies. Had a airplane wheel at the front for steering. But yeah, it looked like the runaway camper. It was cool as shit. Awesome. That is ready to drive around tomorrow. Well, I think we'll call it tonight, guys. I appreciate everyone joining in. It was awesome to see people waiting, loving seeing everything in the chat. I appreciate y'all. If you get time, keep checking out the website for new stuff. Yep, GCM Racing. And spread the Tinker Time word. I hope you guys all have a kick-ass, safe Thanksgiving. Deep fry your turkeys outside. And make sure they're thawed out first. But hey, I'll catch you guys all later. Have a fantastic one. Good night, Eminem. Thanks, Rock Wolf.